right.
Hey, we are here with Louise Potter. Hey, Louise.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good. So Louise is our Ohio state broker for EXP. And this is like our broker minute where we talk about different issues that seem to come up often. So today we're going to talk about staying in your lane, huh?
Staying in your lane, exactly. Doing business within the realm of your expertise and not outside of it.
Okay. So
Yeah,
this seems to come up a lot. You get a lot of questions about this.
it comes up more frequently than it ever has. And, with technology and, companies being virtual and all of that, you're not tied to a specific, even neighborhood.
Right.
When I first started back in the days of the stone tablets and chisels of writing a contract, I concentrated on my area of town.
Right.
I knew my area of town inside out and backwards and forwards.
Okay.
And, that's where I concentrated my sales because we didn't have cell phones. We didn't, quite frankly, even have voicemail at that time. And we didn't have computers and we didn't have all the tools that we have today. So
Right.
real estate has become much more global
Right.
than it ever was.
Right.
And we're not tied to a specific area and we don't want to be.
Right. Well, yes and no, right? Because there's the other argument that it's like there's riches and niches.
Yes, there are definitely riches and niches because, where I live, I know what's coming down the pike as far as improvements to the neighborhoods. And I know, what's in front of city council. And I know things that are happening that the person who doesn't live here may not know.
Right.
In case law and our license says we should.
We should know everything. That's
We should,
impossible.
we have a duty to a higher standard of knowledge than the average person.
Well, yeah, we do, but that's like the standard of knowledge of like doing the transaction, right?
Right. And it is,
Not
it
like
actually goes
knowing what's going on in the neighborhood necessarily.
but the case law says we do.
Really? That's
As,
ridiculous. Why are you getting me so fired up today?
I thought you could use a little stirring up. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that it exists.
Okay.
If there was a murder suicide in a house or there was, something horrible with the property that, the backside of it had fallen down a cliff and, they'd rebuild it and didn't tell anybody. Those are the kinds of things they feel as a realtor we probably should know about. So as a buyer's agent, we have to do our due diligence to Google, a property, just do the basic steps to find out, things about it. So that's where this going outside your lane really comes into play.
Yeah.
So Article 11 of the National Association of Realtors says essentially that stay in your lane. And if you're not staying in your lane, get help with that lane.
But what is it? Can you read it to us? Do you have it?
I do. I have to put my glasses on.
Put those readers on.
I'm so vain, I tell you. Okay, so it goes into, it talks about first providing our clients and customers conforming to the standards of practice and competence which are reasonably expected in the specific real estate disciplines in which they engage.
Okay.
So if you're residential, you should be competent at residential.
Agreed.
Specifically residential real estate brokerage, real property management, commercial and industrial real estate brokerage, land brokerage, real estate appraisal, real estate counseling, real estate syndication, real estate auction, and international real estate. So if if that's your area of specialty, you should be proficient in it.
Okay.
It says realtors shall not undertake to provide specialized professional services concerning a type of property or service that is outside their field of competence.
Which, I'm sorry, is so funny to me because all they're requiring to even get a license is like nothing. And then it's like, oh, okay, now you're a specialist, which is not true. Anyway.
I understand. Trust me. Do you
Okay.
know how many hundreds of new people I've worked with over the years since
No,
this
thanks.
tablet
Not my
days?
life. Thanks. Okay.
But it does go on to say, unless they engage the assistance of one who is competent on such types of property or service,
Okay.
or unless the facts are fully disclosed to the client. You know what, Jennifer, I don't know what I'm doing here. You know,
Yeah,
we're
and the
flying
client should
blind.
still be like, could still be like, okay, I still want you to do it. I mean, that happens to me like on some of my commercial clients. I'll be like, I have no idea. Like, and they're like, I don't care, we want you to handle it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get somebody that like knows what they're doing to like help,
Mhm.
you know?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what should happen. You've disclosed to the client that you're
Mhm.
clueless about it,
Yeah,
because commercial is a totally different beast than
it's
residential.
completely different. Yeah,
We're licensed to sell any of this,
yeah.
but it's totally different. So, I don't know what I'm doing. Are you still okay with that? Yes. Well, I'm going to get my friend Jennifer Mertland to help me with it.
Hmm.
So Jennifer, I'm going to disclose in writing to my client that you're helping me, and I'm probably going to add you to my agency disclosure form too,
Right. Oh,
so that it's
right.
fully disclosed that you're
Yes,
helping.
yes,
And it says
exactly.
right here, any persons engaged to provide such assistance shall be so identified to the client, and their contribution to the assignment should be set forth.
So can you give us like a couple examples of like how you can get in trouble with this and like end up before the
Well, that
whatever?
would be an ethical complaint, and you could also end up in front of the division
Okay.
for
If
going outside.
like what are some examples? Like you do commercial and don't disclose it, something goes bad, the customer or the other agent like files a complaint.
They would file a complaint against you.
Okay.
And you see this mostly where a residential agent wades into commercial.
Okay, that's where it's not. I was thinking, is it mostly for commercial or is it mostly like when they try to do rentals? But it's mostly
Well,
commercial.
it can be rentals too, because the property management gets into a whole different, and there's a reason, like my company does not, EXP does not do property management, because of the laws of the state of Ohio regarding property management are complex and the liability is huge. But it's mostly going from residential to commercial.
Okay.
Somebody gets an opportunity because their uncle Sal has a friend Bob who has a sister Sally who has a office building,
Okay. Yeah.
and Sally needs to sell this office building.
Okay.
So that there are totally different information exchanges that are used in real estate.
Right.
The marketing is totally different. The people you reach are different. The contractual obligations are different.
Right.
So it's so different from residential that if you don't know what you're doing at all, or even a little bit, you can
Yeah.
get yourself in a whole heap of hurt.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I think like bottom line is it's like it's okay to want to expand your knowledge, but
Mhm.
on something that you're not like that you don't have knowledge in, have somebody help you.
Absolutely. Or take classes. There are classes out there, and
Please, the classes don't give, oh my goodness.
now I'm not talking about licensing classes. I'm talking about, there are some specific commercial training classes.
I would still argue to get help.
Oh, absolutely. But if I'm going to wade into commercial, I'm going to take the classes and I'm going to get a mentor.
Gotcha. Okay, you're doing both.
I'm going to have everything to help
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm not just going to take some classes and think I
I'm
know
more
it.
trial by fire. Have the person help and see what happens.
Well, I like classes because I teach a lot of them, but
Yeah.
it depends too on the class you take, because there has to be meat and value
Yeah,
in it.
exactly.
But if there's not, you're better off with a mentor
Do
walking
you
with
think
you.
that this also extends not only to like how we're talking about commercial or rental and residential, but like also into like different areas or different types of clients?
Absolutely.
All of it. Okay.
We have people who come into the company as a new agent, and they want to join, they're in Cincinnati, but they want to join the Cleveland MLS.
Okay.
And it's, what they don't realize in Ohio, there are like 30 different MLSs and boards, and
Really?
I
Wow.
belong to all of them. And I got to tell you, the knowledge of what each one does, it's hard to keep track of.
Oh, I'm sure. That's
So there's
insane.
so many different customs
Yeah,
across markets.
right,
Some are escrow closings, some are roundtable closings,
right.
some are buyer paid title insurance, some are owners policies paid by the seller, some are just, it's,
Yeah.
if you don't know the differences and the nuances, I had no idea when I first came to my role at EXP, because I'd never dealt with the very kind of like northeastern part of Ohio,
Mhm.
that there were promissory notes for earnest money.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it was like, really?
Huh.
I the first one I saw, I thought it was a mistake, and then I realized that that's how that board does it. So
Okay.
if you got to know, you need to know the language to be
Yeah.
able to deal with the residents. You
Well,
know what
yeah,
I
because
mean?
I can imagine like the downfalls, right? Like not only are you getting in trouble, but you're not like serving your client at the highest level possible.
Right. If you take a listing and it's 2 hours to go show it, that
Oh,
doesn't work.
no.
No, that doesn't work. So you find an agent who will show it for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you pay them for those showings, or
Mm-hmm.
they get all the buyers that come off of that listing,
Mm-hmm.
or you make some sort of an arrangement with them so it's worth their time.
Right.
If you
Or
absolutely
like refer
positively,
it.
or I was just going to say that you absolutely positively have to list it because it's your brother and he's insisting,
Right.
or you refer it to a really good agent, you get a referral fee and everybody's happy,
Every
including the
yes.
client.
So
Yeah,
much better. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah.
Well, that's good. You're right. We should stay in our lane for sure.
It's okay to explore other lanes, but just hold somebody's hands while you do it.
Exactly. Don't get stuck in traffic. Don't get run
Yeah,
over.
exactly. Just boom, you're gone.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on again. And if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
They can reach out to me at oh.broker at exprealty.net. They can reach me on Workplace Chat, Louise Potter, DMB,
Mhm.
or they can give me a call at 614-226-6981.
Awesome. Thanks, Louise.
Thank you.